Hello, everybody. Just made it. Hi, John and Geezer and Kevin and Dominic. How you guys doing? Oh boy, uh, what a day. Uh, so what's new? As you we say, great day. Can't follow you this morning. Oh, hey, John. Sorry about that. Well, if you're going back to work or something, that's not a bad thing. Um, hey, Watch Abbott. How are you? Okay, where are we? Hi, Lee and Abdul and GMT Master. Um, I'll remind everyone later, but I wanted to also remind you. Hi, Flares. How are you, Adam? Um, the at let's see, at 11 o'clock, 1100 hours, I guess. Um, New York time, Eastern Daylight Time. H Moser on Instagram will be having a session, a live session with Edward Milan. So if you got any questions for Moser, you can go there and chat it up with Edward. He's really a cool guy. You like the latest sketch on it out? None of the good ones are mine. Let me show you some of the one of the latest ones we got. This one, and I was blown away when I saw this. And it turns out that the guy who did it is a professional dial designer. And I thought, holy smoke, that's really good. But now, and I asked him about the sort of the sawtooth look on the hand, and it was just some shading. And I asked him if he could try it with a an enamel dial and a brigade hand because I like the numbers and everything like that. Let me show you another uh, view of it. So anyway, I thought it was really interesting. I mean, there you have a guy who knows design, and so all of everything goes together. Whereas when I design something, if it goes together, it's luck. But you can see that just at a glance. You can see how everything is nice and consistent. Hi, Mark. My God, it's what is it, 3 o'clock in the morning there, and up in the mountains. Hi, Ian and Jeffrey. How are you? Flippin' Zippo. Good morning. Yeah, shot in the dark. Oh boy. Uh, yeah, it looks pretty good. I thought so too. Okay. Right now, we're still hanging fire. Yeah, I like that too, Flirt. You know, one of the problems though, um, we'd wanted a hi Orange Hand. We wanted an enamel dial, and I don't know if we could do that with enamel or not. So we'll see. Yeah, no, this guy is very good. You may have seen some of the other ones, and that are up on High Horology Lounge, and some of them are really pretty good. One that was done was one of the first ones we got. And it sort of looked like a sketch, and the reason I liked it, it reminded me of that Patek Philippe dial, where one of the people working in the office or something, one I guess their job was to do a mock-up of it, and they liked it so much because it looked so different and so natural that they used it. It looks really cool. So anyway, okay. So what's new with you guys? Okay. Everyone's having a good time. That's all that counts. Hey, Flippin' Zippo. Well, we're glad you're here. Um, Please send bank wire instructions. Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. Once we got to find out about this thing, and as soon as we find out, we'll set up a we'll set up a way to get our movements. See, the thing of it is with the dials, first we got to get the movement, then we got to get the case, then we can deal with a dial. So we've got a lot of time in terms of making a dial decision, plus the fact that we don't have to have all the same one. We can have different people can have different dials. Say, hey, I want a blue enamel, or I want a green one, or I want the one we're going with right now, or at least we talk collectively as a um, cream colored one. Hi, Bruce. How you doing? I get to go retrieve some personal items from the office. Looks like I'm working from home until at least August. Yeah, they're talking about a lot of universities, the California state system, which is huge. It's a huge system. They're not going to have uh, their fall semester is going to be at home. Everything's going to be remote, and the teaching part of it is one thing, and it'll be interesting to see. That I know they've got that pretty well done. I guess the wet labs, so where you dissect a frog or whatever they do in the wet labs, they're going to have to be modified or somehow done virtually. But there's not going to be a fall semester on campus for the Cal State University system, and they've got like over probably close, oh, I don't know, maybe a half a million students. There's huge. Um, the other thing is that I wanted to sort of talk about was watch prices coming down. I've seen both. I've seen some go not do anything. I've seen others go down, and I've seen others go sideways. What do you guys found on that? In terms of, has anybody bought a watch lately and got a good buy on one? Geez, you're wearing a mask. Yeah. When I wear a mask, I find that it improves my appearance, so I'm all for mask. Okay, let's see. Reduced hours. Well, listen, nothing wrong going back to work if you can do it safely. I'm all for that. Um, hey, Flares. Oh, yeah, that's right. I did last time. It was my pleasure. I mean, there's a lot of talent out there with graphics and stuff, which is great. Hey, Stefan, where you been? I want that Octo. Still the same price. Yeah, that's well, there's negotiation. Hey, Clyde, how you doing? Yeah, that's true about the Latin players. Same here. Shanghai, mostly in Shanghai. How are things? I understand Shanghai's opening up again, Jeffrey. Um, how are things going? Yeah, watch habit. That's a real problem that a lot of people have. Man, they got to get figure out. I think after this thing is over, a couple things are going to happen. One is I certainly hope we have some kind of leadership that'll had planned ahead for it, like Austria had. And second of all, I think there's going to be a lot more plans for dealing remotely with work. Um, Certain kinds of things like accounting and some things like that, they can be done from anywhere. It's nice to go to the accountant's office or the controller's office and say, "Hey, George or Sue or whoever, and I want something about this, but this can be done online." Hey, by the way, too, Google announced some kind of new meeting software they have, and I was taking a look at it. And has anybody tried that? I they've had something. We had some family meetings with Zoom, and we've also done FaceTime. But I haven't this new Google meeting. Has anybody seen anything about that? Put my money in watch fund before anything else. I have Dual. Yeah, yeah. It's yeah. See, this is a funny thing about watch buying now. It's not like you either gotta pay the mortgage or buy a watch, and the watch is always going to come in second or third on that. So that'll be interesting. Well, interesting perhaps is not the right word. Google Meet, that's right, Flares. That's the one I was thinking of. They had a. I was looking at that. I haven't tried it yet. Maybe I'll give it a try. I got lucky. I have antibodies. That's more valuable now. Oh, that's right, Jeffrey. Yeah, you and your family ended up with those. That's man, I tell you, I wish they could figure out a way to share those things with everybody. I know that they've given it to some patients have recovered quicker with that, which is a good thing. I wouldn't want to be invested in office buildings now. Me neither. Me neither. The whole thing with bricks and mortar, I think, when I was at work before I retired, the we used to meet every day for lunch and have and yakety yakety yak and that kind of interaction I think would be missed by everybody. What we can do online right now, and we can have this kind of meeting, but it's not quite the same as being around someone else. Now, the good thing about this is that if if you're interacting with someone you don't care to interact with, you can always claim, "Oh, there goes the internet." Boom, and get to see you later, alligator. Okay, let's see. I got called to come in and give blood first time out in a week for blood. Yeah, hey Lee. Oh, good. Um, something really funny happened to me. I went to give blood one day, and they asked me. This was years ago. They said, "Well, have you been in any?" This was back in the '80s, I think, and I had been at Cambridge University in England, and so they said, "Have you been any?" Apparently, there was some kind of mad cow disease at the time, not at Cambridge, but in the rural areas that they were concerned about. So they said, "Well, you were there during that period, so we're not going to allow you to give blood." Okay. I don't know if they'd still do that or not, but it's been a long time ago, and I have not had any mad cow reactions. So I don't know. I got my goats back here. We have cattle, not us, but neighbors have some cows out in the back and chickens and so forth. Oh, let's see. Um, well, I'm glad if they ask me about it, I don't think I have a problem. They could take a look and see if everything's okay. Hi, NS something. Glad you're here. They still do they still ask that, Lee? Okay. All right. Um Okie doke. Oh yeah, no, there'd be a huge impact on that. This is just killing the hotel business. There were two different things that I had planned to go to in New York, and both I think I still have hotel reservations. I think for one of them, or maybe I have none of them. I had to cancel hotel reservations, and I thought, well, I'll wait and see what happens before I do it again. They don't ask about the BSC. Is that what it is? Oh boy. Okay. Well, here's my plan. If I don't hear from Aganor by tomorrow, I'll contact Nicholas Thursday evening, which will so by Friday morning, I hope he has something for us. If not, and try to get a little clearer on the timeline. Because that's how come I put up on the announcement. I put up that thing from The Simpsons. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Because that's the way. It's sort of like it's been a while, but depending on what they're doing, this may take a while. I just hope it comes out at a reasonable price that we can afford, and I think that'd be cool. Okie doke. What's going on here? Don't think they ask. Okay. Tourism is almost dead in the water. Yeah. This is the thing. My wife and I we go on a cruise once a year, and for some reason, my wife said, I just don't want to. This was before the whole pandemic. She says, let's just skip a year. So I said, okay, we'll skip a year. You know, I'll buy a watch with our cruise money. So so we said to skip a year. Man, am I glad because I always plan way ahead of time. I when we go on vacation anywhere, I'm a big planner. I love the whole planning process, and so usually I would have planned back in 2019 for going out this year, and we'd have to go through the whole thing with the airlines, with and just sort of get our deposit back. The other thing is that the we've been using the same travel agency for a number of years now, and they're really nice, really very nice and effective people. They're in trouble. God, I tell you, it's really a mess. Um, Looks like I'll have some time practicing putting together watches before we get something that is total package to put together. Yeah, Mark, we will. Once we get the movement, though, I think that's the most important thing right now. See, one of the other things is that I have no idea of how Aganhor works. I mean, if they've got like a bunch of people who they depend on to come in and do some work on watchmaking, that's a whole different story. The way I'm looking at it is that their father, Jean Marc Viderec, and Nicholas Viderec, and then I think he has a brother too, and they're all watchmakers. I sort of envisioning them, working out of their shops uh, as a family. But whether that's true or not, I have no idea of knowing. And maybe this is one of the problems they have because they have to look at the manpower they have, and then fulfilling any kind of contracts they have. It's very difficult, and this is how come I'm not you know getting real pushy about it because one, it wouldn't help, and second of all, it may be unrealistic. Yeah, Mark, and that's exactly, yeah, as long as we have a good movement, that should be the focus. I agree completely. And I think we have we have three excellent options. Well, we have two excellent options, I think, and one that would be limited. The limited one was that if we could get the Rolf Lang ones, and they would be very. I mean, those would be very handmade, but we could only get five, and we'd have to get five, and they're bigger, so that we were hoping for a smaller case size, so that would be. But the other two, the UWD 33.1 or 33.2, I think would be excellent choices. And then finally I think the best one though, if we get it, it would be this Aganor. Just would be so unbelievable. That would be great. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. But so we have to be patient through this whole thing. Man, you talk about some of you guys with kids at home and wife, everybody going nuts. That's rough, and it just one of these things. You have to look 5 years down the road. "Oh, remember the pandemic, all the stuff that we did and so forth, and look what we did, we built a watch." That might be fun part about it. I hope so anyway. Okay, let's see. Okay, and that's something you can go around. And that's something. What country is that? You're talking about. You can go around the country. I agree, Kevin. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. Oh, Canada. Yeah, different provinces. That's right. I knew you were from Canada. I can tell by your accent. Everything was a. was, my wife and I were talking about. We went up on a cruise up to Canada a few years ago, and the Canadians are so nice. Um, and they were just, we really had a good time. And until we went to customs coming home, God, what a zoo that was. Uh, I think what they had in, let's see where we're going from. Oh no, it was, yeah, no, it wasn't that time. It was another time. I was going through customs in Montreal, and it was, I think they have American customs thing, and there was a line from here to, you know, to Oklahoma. But no, we Canada's great. They have, I like Canada a lot. We go up there for up to La Belle Provence. How did I mispronounce that? And that's something. Yeah. Okay. Hey, see, you're not allowed to travel between province if you're in a camper. Really? That's interesting. Oh, we have U.S. Customs agents in Canadian airports. We can fly regional U.S. airports. Ah, okay. Man, I tell you, the one in Montreal. What were we flying there for? Oh, I was at a conference and I was flying home. I went to a conference up there. It was a while ago. Um, oh, GMT Master, you're up in Canada too. Yeah, be in the customs line with a guy at the end of his shift. No kidding. Or somebody's had a bad Monday. It's like, oh, yeah. No, those guys, the number of TSA agents who came down with coronavirus and the number who have died from it is huge. I was really, man, those poor guys, really bad. I think there are a lot of restrictions. Some provinces, like Prince Edward Island, that's where I was, among other places, are really strict. And pretty sure the territories, Yukon, Northwest Territory, Nunavut, are complete no go unless you have a good reason. Okay, that's they had. Okay, well, let's see now. Nobody has bought a watch lately or is planning. Anybody planning on getting a watch? Have anyone been negotiating on one? Hey, Flop here. How are you? It's true that Grand Seiko is about the same quality as Patek Philippe. I don't know. Some people, I don't. Well, if you're talking about the Grand Seiko um, Spring Drive, it's not so much the quality. One is dealing with accuracy from a quartz, and the other one's from a an escapement and hairspring. Different watches. Greetings from the good barge berserk. The good barge berserk, huh? Uh, Relocating coastal, hoping on the high seas of Denmark. Excellent weather. We'll join tonight's show. Okay, Fahrenheit on the good ship Berserk. Washington State is reopening by county. Yeah. Washington State, though, was one of the smarter ones. Washington and California, probably Oregon too. They all seem to be doing really well in terms of preparation and everything else. Connecticut is in very good shape. What they did that since huge percent of all the deaths were from retirement homes, from nursing homes. What they did was that they took a nursing home that had gone out of business and was empty, and they fixed it up so anybody who had coronavirus would go there, and then so they could be taken care of, and there'd be no risk of infection, and then this sweeping through and knocking off all the people in the nursing home. And so that's one of the things that Connecticut did, I think, to help everyone. We've got a really sensible government. Uh, I mean, in terms of coronavirus, a big thing that everybody has in the U.S. right now, I think, is lack of testing. I don't know what they were thinking. Back in January, I was ranting and raving about testing, but you got a research background. That's what you do. Okay, sorry for the still keeping an eye on Dumerte prices. Bruce, that's not a bad idea. I ought to sort of start fishing around for true seconds too. See if I can pull one out at a low ball. Yeah, yeah. I think we're all on the same boat on that. I'm glad to hear that. Abdul, Longa is perfect for my daughter's working on her PhD. Fortunately, she has no interest in watches, so I don't need to buy her a Longa. I'm looking at a Parmigiani. Oh, I love those watches. Oh, I love those watches. They are really good watches. There's something about the movement in the 1950. I forgot what it was, but that's a neat watch. Love that one. Quebec is slowly reopening, but outside the Montreal metropolitan area, Montreal is still a mess. Yeah, um, I've been there. Montreal is years ago. We went there. Back, we drove a Rolls Royce up there one year and had a ball. I had a really good time in, in Montreal. That thing, and then on the way home, there was a poor deer that got run over, and he was in the middle of the road around a corner and ran over that poor thing. And cars had a venison tincture to it for a while. We're behind on testing, need more antibody testing. We need all kinds of testing everywhere in this country. I still don't know what's wrong with it. Well, I know that in our state they've been ramping it up a lot, which is good. But in our town, we have a little town. We're only like 20,000, and they've had like 60 something deaths. That's not good. And then they have like 300 and something cases. That's because they have no testing. We could have 3,000 cases. We have no idea. So I'm hoping that they'll be doing more of that in our town. Um, the way they have it now is that you have to have a doctor's note or some stupid thing like that, and that's not testing. That's it's just sort of weird stuff. Hey, Kaz, how you doing? I I see all of the colors that Kaz had. Kaz has his color test. Got 2020 on the color test. We need mental testing. Yeah. Yeah. Vintage is very interesting. Good morning, Truth Fears. How you doing? Maybe that would be a good nickname for Truth Fears Gilly. Would be T Fig. T for the TID. Yeah, T Fig. Hey, T Fig. Let's see. Uh, Truth Fears. Fears. Oh, shirt. Okay. How long have they been diagnosing it if they're not testing? I know, GMT master. I'm with you. this is insane. But all it costs are, maybe 10 or 20,000 more dead people. It's just nuts. Oh, good. Getting delivery today. Oh, good. Good, good. We have my wife set up a routine for stuff we get in the mail, and it goes. We have a place where it first goes and gets blasted with something that my wife has that would, I think, kill anything. And then after it sits for a day, then we can open it. It's with packages, the packaging never makes it in the front door. It goes to the recycle, and what's in it we get. So be careful, Kaz. Don't let them send you a COVID-19. And yeah, UV light's another good one. Or just what's really good is nice sunlight. I've got we got a security light with a solar panel, and it's out cooking now. So we wanted to try that out. Um, that's primarily for the bears and the critters. I don't know what would happen. you know, the poor old raccoons come up there and blink. They can see what they're doing. Um, or no testing to inflate numbers. No testing would deflate numbers. Hay flares. Um, 72 hours for plastic. Yeah, man, I tell you, it's just this is the weirdest thing. But it's only 2 minutes for a watch. Lysol martini. Yeah, I know. We ought to have some people who recommend that ought to be they ought to test it. Here's a bottle of Clorox, chug it down. I just put half and half in my macchiato, half milk, half Lysol. Oh man. Oh, what is it? A Bloody Mary would be tomato juice and Lysol. Oh, I let my mail cook in my car for 24 hours. That'd do it. Out in eastern Washington, it gets nice and toasty out there. Lysolini. Oh man. Well, listen, guys. Can a dirty Lysol martini actually be dirty? I don't think so. Well, listen, guys. I gotta go. Like I said, if I don't hear from Aganor tomorrow, I will send him a very nice note, nothing pushy. But hey, you got anything for us? Realize it's things are sort of goofed around, but that would be so cool. All right, hey, we still have our contest. Oh, by the way, too, final reminder: today at 11 o'clock Eastern time, which is 1700 hours Swiss time, which is Central European time, on Instagram. There'll be a on and it's on the High Horology Lounge, and it's on the that Moser group. Edouard Milan will be answering questions about Moser. So if you got a question, and it might be fun to see what other people are asking. Take care. Everybody stay safe, and hasta mañana.